In this lesson, I'm going to explain wireframe fill and how it applies to objects. So first thing I'll do is I'll draw out a square here. Now in the program, every object has a fill. In this case, the fill of this, as we can see up here, is black. Okay, it's the default fill, black. I can convert this to a curve and it still remains as a closed shape and it has a black fill. Now we can go into the property inspector here and click on the fill, expand this out like this, and we can see that it's the default color. If I change it to red, you can see it changes it to red. So every object has a default fill. I'll just close this out, or a fill that we've applied to it, or the default fill. So in order to see this object as an actual open, or as in wireframe, you can go down to the bottom here and you can click wireframe and see everything in wireframe. Or if we put everything back enhanced, we can actually see this object itself in wireframe by clicking on this flyout, and you can click on this button here, wireframe fill, which only applies to the selected object, and it's also up here, wireframe fill. So if I click on that there, only this object, nothing else is shown in wireframe. And even though it's got a fill, we can still see it as a closed shape like this, and that's fine. If I want to break this apart by node editing it, you can see I can move the nodes around, and these lines just move around as I node edit it. If I come here and I say break this curve at this point, and I bring it out like that, we can see that it's an open shape now. Even though it has a fill, it's an open shape, and we can see it as an open shape. Now the great thing in the program is that you can have your cake and eat it. In other words, if I turn wireframe fill off, even though this is an open shape, and even though it's got a fill, you can see that fill. Whereas otherwise you'd just see it as an open line. So if you want to see it as an open line, you simply click back on this button, put it in wireframe fill, and then you've got that. So you've got the best of both worlds. You can either have it as with its fill as an open shape and you see it filled, and you can also see it as an open line like this by having it in wireframe mode. So that's the difference between the two. And it's just a matter of just toggling between the two. And if I want to close this shape now, I can simply close it like that. It's now a closed shape. If I turn wireframe fill off, you can see here it now looks like a solid shape. So that way in VinylMaster you can, as I say, have your cake and eat it. You can have your view as solid or as wireframe on single individual objects. And that's wireframe fill, and the end of this lesson.